Welcome to Modena, day 2. Kicking things off here, we are at a Balsamico place where they make balsamic. One little known fact about balsamic is they grow their own grapes. It's not leftover grapes, it's not leftover wine. It's grapes they specifically grow and then turn into balsamico.
Wow.
Yeah. So all the vinegar inside here are made by us from our grapes to the final product. The grapes that we use usually are 3 types, different types. We have the white one that is Trebbiano wine. It's a very typical of this region, and it's very sweet. Then we have the Lambrusco one that you can also taste inside of the wine, and it's a little bit sour. And then we have the Ancellotta, that is the rosé one, and it's a mix between the Trebbiano and the Lambrusco. So it's a little bit sweet, but also sour. It's very creepy. The process started with at around September, October, when we can take the grapes from the plant and we have to press it. The pressing process is a very delicate pressing because we need only the grape juice. We don't need the other parts of the grapes, only the juice. So 40 hours of cooking at around 90 degrees, and then we can put our product, the must, inside of the mother barrels. So we have a lot of mother barrels, and we need the mother barrels because from the mother barrels we can put the product inside of our factory. We have different factories of barrels, and every barrel is made from a different wood. This because of the flavor that the final product will have. We take from the wood of the barrels.
All right, my friends, we're in the kitchen getting ready for our cooking class, day 2. With Via Gaia. We are at the Acetia? What's it called?
Acetaya.
We're at the Acetaya. I don't even know if I said that right the first time.
You did, I heard you over there say it.
I didn't say it. I was like, you fucked that up. Twice in a row. Never seen anything like this. The dough, water, lard, yeast. Is there oil in there too?
C'è olio dentro o no? Huh? C'è olio dentro?
No. And salt. And so it's a pretty stiff dough that then gets rolled out by hand, and then it's gonna go into these trays. Once it's rolled out and it gets a really interesting cut on it, gets risen, but then you don't press it out before it's baked. Wow. I wanna see what this looks like when it's baked. I'm curious if I've had it already, or...
I've never had it. This is a new one for me.
Yeah, and it's like a very soft,
have you been here?
Not super wet.
Yeah, we did
and then it's cut, almost like baklava.
It's cut all the way through.
Yeah. But then it's gonna proof, so it'll come back together.
And have like some air.
Uh-huh.
I like it.
Great, so we have everybody here. I thought it'd be really fun to make bolognese, but like a la Americano. So the way that I would do it back home, breaking all the rules of traditional Italian cuisine. I don't like the word tradition. It's one of my least favorite words. I try not to use it. And Jeff and I were saying, yesterday he was getting like, a little agitated with me because he was like, oh no, that's not traditional. And I was like, well, I add white miso paste to my sweet potato filling for the past 5-6 years traditionally. And I do that every year, every time I make it as a tradition. So it is my tradition. There's no one that can't say that's not traditional if you do it over and over and over again. Because that's all tradition means, is doing something continuously, religiously, over and over and over. One of the other things I really like to do that breaks the rules, I really like using butter over olive oil. I'm a big fan of butter. I think more butter is more better.
Oh, butter, more better. I'm on that train.
And so that kind of like is my little ode to my French roots, I think. You don't often see a lot of butter outside of like butter and pasta water in sauces. You don't see it like, especially in a tomato sauce or especially like in a ragu. None would probably walk out a long time ago. How are we looking over there? We still need a little more flour? Yeah, we're still wet. All right. So I have ground beef, ground pork, ground prosciutto. I don't personally like using veal. I think veal is very lean. More fat is more flavor. Just like with my meatballs, I don't put veal in them. They can turn out kind of dry. Veal is expensive. So I usually have some sort of ground salami, the end bits of like a prosciutto, the end bits of salami, mortadella, some sort of cured meat. You're gonna get that punch of saltiness without having to get veal. or even fine veal. Veal can be hard to find sometimes. So I'm gonna start with the two meats, the pork and the beef. I'm gonna wait on adding the prosciutto because prosciutto is gonna cook and crisp very quickly, and I don't want all those like chewy, crunchy prosciutto in there. So I'll add that at the end once I'm down kind of like browning, bringing everything together. So here's a little move. Bolognese traditionally, like I said here, culturally, milk and wine, not tomato. Sometimes a little tomato paste. I still like the addition of milk, but a lot of the American Bolognese recipes that use milk will add it at the end of the cooking. I like to add it right now to kind of deglaze the pan. The milk almost separates and all the milk solids start to brown. And you get that almost brown butter flavor in your meat by still adding the milk. Here on the stove, we got the meat going over in the back. Pasta dough is coming together really nice. We got our tomatoes standing over on the side. And you can see now the milk is evaporated. You get those like brown bits almost going onto the meat. There's actually one brand of eggs, Happy Eggs, which you don't see everywhere. I'm gonna go this way so it doesn't slide. But they have the darkest, yellowest yolks I've seen. But yeah, otherwise from the grocery store, you're not gonna get a lot of it. And what I always like to do is right after the dough kind of rests for a little bit, because it's gonna be tight, let it rest for about 10-15 minutes. And then I always like to kind of like bring it together into a nice rounded ball. So that way it could rest like this, and you have a nice kind of smooth surface that you're starting with. Rather than having all of this, you try to roll that out, you're gonna have all these like weird misshapen pieces. Usually there's like one person in town that like makes these. There was one that made them for like Evan Funke and Maestro Alessandro. Like if you watch Chef's Table, we were supposed to go to his shop and watch some of these get made, but he shut down his shop last year. So it's no longer, nobody can go now at this point. But I was very excited originally because I have one from him imported that I bought online, but I've never actually gotten to go and see it. In theory, we could, and maybe later this week when we're doing the pasta making class, do this rolled out by hand. It's a totally different skill set to be able to roll pasta by hand or fatto a mano. That's what that means. Made by hand. And so that was the idea. I worked at a restaurant called Quince in San Francisco where I kind of like really fell in love with and learned making pasta. And the chef came back from Bologna and had made pasta with all the nonnas in the laboratories and learned about tortellini and how to roll it out by hand and everything. And I was on the pasta station, I was the pasta chef. So then he passed that on to me, and we had a ton of different pastas on the menu. And they were all made in a machine and with the roller. But he's like, no, the tortellini, we're gonna only mix by hand, only roll out by hand. And so that was my dish for 6 months straight. Wow. I had to do 18 pieces of tortellini per person. We did about 80 to 100 people per night. Wow. Everyone got tortellini. And I would just come into work, I'd bring my board out to the dining room, I'd make a batch of dough, roll out the batch of dough from yesterday, make a new batch of dough, cut them all up, and just stand there and make tortellini for hours. That was the one served in the rolling pin. And I was probably made by me, because I came up with that dish in the rolling pin. So we would serve it. We got custom rolling pins made that would cut in half and chisel out the center. Yeah. And then so we'd get served the tortellini in it with the rolling pin lid on and get that with the tweezers to eat it. It was like 3 Michelin star fine dining, like not a trattoria. I learned how to do it by hand. Not many chefs, especially in America, know how to roll out dough by hand. But so I always say, even if you're using a machine at home, get a wine bottle or a rolling pin, simply because your machine is only going to be able to kind of exaggerate what you put into it. So if you put a really nice rectangle in there, it's gonna exaggerate that rectangle and give you a big, beautiful rectangle. If you put in this like odd shaping clump of dough that doesn't really have any shape or form, that's what you're gonna get. This giant gator tail with pieces that you can't really use, messed up all over the place. And so I've noticed a lot of people don't take the time to really kind of like make sure you get this set out and started right. Oh yeah, that's nice. Will you grab me that little spoon of flour in that bag right there, the one that's half open, just with a little bit of flour on it. Perfect. And simply I'm gonna do this because I'm working on not wood. I know it's gonna have a tendency to stick just a little, so I'm gonna put a little bit of flour down on this. We got the aftermath here. There's a small pot of pasta, but everybody's eating. Food's out there. Everybody's ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll, baby.
I overdid it.
Once you put it on your plate, you can't put it.
I know. Now that I opened it.
Yeah.
So this is our Emilia Romagna style focaccia. We see it baked now. Very similar to almost like a biscuit in texture, in style. Interesting. Wow, it is almost like a biscuit.
It's Italy's like wood fire deal.
She's still filming.
I don't believe in Italy. All new flavors. It's a whole new day. We have an Amarino cherry and cream. We have vanilla and cream. We got a really nice old balsamic vinegar. How old are we? I think this is the 25 year, so not too bad. It makes a really nice little, how you doing? This one's affogato, really nice. The cherry was really good with the balsamic.
Okay.
The chocolate was really nice with the espresso. And then the lemon strawberry is a nice palate cleanser.
Okay. We gotta wait for a pen.
Oh, pen.
The one pen.
Well, you just use balsamic.
You could.
With your finger. I'm developing.
No, Roman is like the broker. With, he ain't
no.
broken. He ain't broken.
Jeff said he's gonna
anything.
come in November, and Jeff was like, well, maybe we could do like a collab.
Day 2, part 2. We're doing a little bit of a walking tour through the city of Modena. We got our whole little group here. We got a little guide, and we're going to see the entire city, or at least a little bit of it. Wow. More kiwis, huh? And puntarella everywhere. Wow. This square.
Vitamin D. Vitamina D.
Vitamina D. Yeah.
This is quite the nice main heart square of Modena.